I'm just stubborn. Maybe too stubborn. But one thing's clear, I never give up. There's no scenario where I tell myself, that's it, I'm done. When I was 11, I made a decision. No backup plan, no safety net. I just said, I'm going to do this, and if I fail, I'll fail trying. People call it crazy. Maybe it is. But that obsession became my identity. I thrive on challenges. No, thrive doesn't even cover it. I need hard problems. Easy stuff bores me. I want complexity, puzzles that take years to solve, problems that push limits that make people go, this is impossible. That's the stuff that gets me out of bed. The harder it is, the more alive I feel. My brain wakes up when I'm obsessing over one thing, when I'm pouring every ounce of energy into figuring it out. If I had to name my superpower, it's obsession. Not talent, not luck, not connections, obsession. I can think about one thing more than anyone else on the planet, endlessly, relentlessly. Some people see it as a weakness. I see it as my edge. Solve a problem 3 times more than everyone else, and your solutions aren't just better, they're different. That's how you win. Over the last decade, if I've learned anything about success, it's not just obsession, it's also extreme ownership. Excuses are easy, everyone makes them, but the moment you stop blaming circumstances and start asking, how could I have done better? How could I have taken control? That's when you level up. Accountability isn't optional, it's everything. And that mindset, that refusal to accept mediocrity or blame, separates the average from the extraordinary. And energy, the people around you determine who you become. Surround yourself with ambitious, driven people, and you're pulled up. Surround yourself with those who don't care, and they'll drag you down. Great people love working with great people. There's something primal about it. It brings out a level of intensity, of drive, of belief in what's possible. I've seen it over and over. Put 2 or 3 mediocre players among A players, and they start pulling everyone down. But stack your team with A players, and they feed off each other's obsession, creativity, and hunger. That's how empires are built. Mediocrity is the worst trait. Not the lazy person who clearly isn't trying, not the failure who admits it. No, the mediocre person, the one who's good enough, who's not bad enough to fire, but not brilliant enough to push limits. That's toxic. Being around mediocrity drains energy, it saps motivation, it makes work feel smaller than it should. And if you want to succeed, you eliminate that relentlessly. I learned this early. My mom raised us mostly on her own. Back in 2008, we went bankrupt. She worked 2 jobs just to keep us afloat. I barely saw her. I was sick a lot, Crohn's disease, other health issues. Life was rough. She tried to get me to do homework while I just wanted to chase a dream that seemed impossible to her. She didn't understand the world I was imagining. I didn't understand hers. Friction was constant. But it all makes sense now. She was reasonable, protective. I was just obsessed, too all in. And that obsession, it started early. I wanted to be a YouTuber when I was 11. Not casually, not like, I'll try it for fun. I made a declaration. I wanted it so badly I'd die trying. Some kids want to be gamers or athletes. I wanted to create, to build, to dominate a platform, to solve a complex system, to create something that people couldn't ignore. I saw YouTubers making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and my brain said, that's the path. But money wasn't the only driver. It was the control, the challenge, the chance to build something new, the ability to take care of my mom, to repay her for everything. Obsession isn't just about hours, it's about how deeply you think, how much you invest mentally, emotionally, relentlessly. When I was 19 or 20, I'd spend 18 hours on Skype with friends dissecting videos, reverse engineering what made content work. Hang up at night, wake up the next day, start again. No one was watching, no one cared. But that obsession, that relentless attention, is what built the foundation for everything I've achieved. Most people wouldn't want my life. It's not glamorous from the inside. It's all work, all the time. You don't see the late nights, the planning, the stress, the constant pressure. Free time? Rare. Happiness? Conditional. But that's part of the edge. You learn to frame your mind to see discomfort as an advantage, to see pain as your moat. Everyone else feels miserable doing what you do, so when you push through, you're alone at the top. That's power. That's freedom. I'm coachable. I always learn. I always improve. I value long-term investment in myself and my team. I don't work with mediocre people. I feed off obsession, intensity, and energy. I want people who are all in, who love the grind, who see value in persistence and compounding effort over years. That's how excellence compounds. Short-term work doesn't create legends. Long-term obsession does. Nothing is impossible. If physics allows it, if it's logically achievable, then it can be done. People overcomplicate. They say, "You can't do that." I hear, "Watch me." Obstacles excite me. Hard problems excite me. Being uncomfortable excites me. Most people avoid it. Most people quit. I lean in. That's why no one does what I do. They wouldn't survive the treadmill. I'm running a marathon at sprint pace, and it never slows. Every year the pace gets faster, but I wouldn't have it any other way. To go viral, to create something unforgettable, you have to create a purple cow, a thing no one expects, a thing so unique that it breaks norms. Most people chase easy wins, repetitive content. I chase impossibilities, ideas no one else would attempt. That's why my success compounds faster. One viral moment, one massive idea outweighs dozens of average ones. That's the power of obsession combined with originality. There were countless moments I almost quit. Flu in Africa, exhaustion, times when my body screamed for sleep? Sure, but quitting in my mind was temporary, never final. Maybe a week off, maybe a reset, but never giving up. You can't quit once you start throwing coal into the engine. You have to keep feeding it, hour after hour, year after year. That's what separates those who leave legacies from those who fade. Would I do this for decades? Absolutely. There's no plan to stop. Money, comfort, easy living, it's irrelevant. I chase mastery, obsession, creation, and results. The life I live is uncomfortable, intense, all-consuming, but it's mine. Most people would call it misery. I call it my advantage. At the core, it's simple: obsession, ownership, energy, discomfort, relentlessness. Love what you do enough to suffer for it. Push through unhappiness because that's what separates you. Build around people who pull you higher. Eliminate mediocrity. Solve impossible problems. Create purple cows. And never, ever quit. Not for a night, not for a week, not ever. Because that's how legends are built. Not by shortcuts, not by comfort, but by relentless, obsessive commitment to something bigger than yourself.